Good morning, friend. This is Ashley Clarke with Earthkeeper Yoga, and I am here really early in the morning, taking advantage of the peace and the quiet that is available right here in this moment. I have natural sunlight coming through the studio windows, and we are just going to move in such a way that we can gently wake up our bodies. If that sounds good to you, go ahead and grab a couple of blocks as well as your trusty blanket, and I'll meet you right here on the mat. All right, sweet friend, as we get started this morning, I invite you to go ahead and come down onto your back. Keep the knees bent. We're going to take it nice and slow. So keep those knees bent, and then let the soles of the feet really connect to the floor. Make sure there's a lot of space for the back to really melt into the mat. Let the hands just rest on the belly. And just one more note to mind the chin and the placement of the chin. So we don't want it tucked into the chest. We don't want it lifted up towards the sky. We just want it parallel with the shoulders. And go ahead and close your eyes. Give yourself a cleansing breath here. Beautiful. Allow your breath just to stay in and out through the nose. We won't stay here for too long, just so you don't fall back to sleep. But give yourself just a few minutes to check in with yourself this morning. How are you feeling physically, mentally, emotionally? And let these last two right here be nice and deep. So inhale through the nose, nice and deep, let it go. Super slow through the nose as well. Take an inhale, reach the arms up over your head. Find that natural bend in the elbows, just a brief opening through the heart here. We're gonna take an inhale, lift the belly off the floor, little bend through the back, and then exhale, let it sink back down. Bring those knees into the chest, let hands come to the top of the kneecaps, and give yourself just a little gentle rock side to side. Circle those ankles, point and flex the feet. Extend the legs long down the mat. Bring the arms back up over the head. Take an inhale and start to walk your heels over to the right. Maybe the ankles cross, maybe they don't. Take a fresh breath, lift up through the upper body, hands and all, and slowly let there become a small little arch over there to the left side of the body as you lower down to the right. Big stretch from that middle left finger all the way down to the ankles and the toes. And stay with that deep breath. And soften through the face and the jaw. And take an inhale, lift the upper body. We're gonna come all the way back through center and then slowly exhale back down. Uncross those ankles, walk those heels through center, and then we'll let them come over to the left. When you find your spot, take an inhale, lift the upper body, and slowly move over to the left. Reaching down, melting into the mat, finding that opening through the right side body. Big deep breath in the belly. Beautiful. Inhale, lift up the upper body, bring it back to center, lowering slowly. We're gonna uncross those heels, bring them back to center, and then slowly let the feet walk up so that the knees are back up towards the sky. Make any adjustments that you need there for the whole back to be on the mat. And then we'll slowly send that right leg up towards the sky. Point and flex that foot, circle the ankle. Little bitty stretch through that right hamstring. Beautiful. Bend that right knee. Let the right sole of the foot come back to the mat. We'll do the same thing on the left side. So sending that left leg up towards the sky, circling the ankle, pointing and flexing the foot. So our bodies are so stiff when we practice in the morning, when we move at all in the morning, regardless of whether we're practicing yoga. So stiff. So be so gentle with yourself here. We're coming in line with the breath more so than worrying about the physical body. Lower that left foot back to the mat. Take an inhale. Sigh it out. Beautiful. Let your knees fall over to one side. Take that top hand, press it into the floor. We're going to come to seated. Give me just a minute. I gotta move my mic out of the way. Resettle that behind me now that I'm seated. Beautiful. So when you come to your seat, actually let the tailbone come off the top of the blanket. So tailbone kind of rides forward. The fleshy part of your booty can stay on the blanket. Go ahead and spread the legs wide. Find that spot that feels okay through the lower body. And then let the hands come to the legs. Once you get there, close the eyes, reach the crown of the head up towards the sky, and give yourself a deep cleansing breath. Beautiful. We're going to take this left hand and put it in the center of our legs. So tilt the body forward just enough to let that hand come to the floor. If it's too much, if that's already too much, bring your hand to the block, whatever setting that you need, okay? So hand comes right there equally between the two legs. Bring those right fingertips, let them just melt right next to the floor. And then we're gonna take an inhale and slowly start to open this right arm over to the right. So bringing it back down, and we'll just create some movement here, just a little bit, nice and soft. So again, we are paying attention to the breath. And keeping some softness through the body. Give it 2 more. Beautiful. Right hand replaces left. Light on those left fingers. Take an inhale, open to the left, big stretch. Just feeling into that soft opening. And breathing in and out, we'll give it 2 more rounds. Beautiful. So you're still tilted forward through the upper body. Spread those fingers nice and wide. And then reach the crown of the head away. Take a cleansing breath. Cold stretch here. Starting to walk the hands forward, waking up those hamstrings, waking up the inside of the legs, being gentle with yourself here, and trying not to round through the low back. So maybe your edge is way back here, totally fine. Find your spot and then give yourself 6 deep breaths in and out through the nose, reaching through the crown of the head, breathing into this space. Exhales as long as the inhales. Beautiful. Slowly start to bring those hands back towards center just a bit, and then we're going to start to reach the right hand over for the right foot. Left hand comes to meet it, getting all into that outside of the left middle part of your body. Reaching the crown of the head away, breathe. Softening through the kneecaps. Walk those hands back a little bit towards center, walking through center, and then that left hand reaches for the left ankle or shin, right hand comes close, reaching the crown of the head away, breathing in and out through the nose. Beautiful. Bringing yourself back up towards center. We'll bring the legs together, not the mat. The mat wants to move too. Bring the legs to center. Reach through the crown of the head. Fingertips on either side of the hips. Let's take an inhale. Reach the arms and the gaze up. And then exhale. Try to fold forward, letting those hands come down. Again, they might just make it next to the thighs. Reaching the crown of the head away. Not worrying about pointing or flexing the feet. Just breathing into that low back body. Giving that low back a stretch as well. And soften any tension in the legs. Beautiful. One more breath. Walking yourself back up. And then check to make sure that you're on that blanket in such a way where you can come to your easy seat. Now, if your easy seat doesn't look like mine, totally fine. You can keep those legs extended long in that big V like we did before. Fleshy part of the booty stays on the blanket. Bony part of the booty comes down to the mat. Hands come to the legs, nice and soft. Reach through the crown of the head and then close the eyes. Give yourself a cleansing breath. We're actually going to move through seated cat-cow today. So I want you to inhale and reach the belly button forward as the chin lifts, low back arches, heart shines forward. Exhale, round it in. Chin comes towards chest, spine rounds behind. That's your movement. Nice and slow. Shine that heart forward. Give it one more round. And then come back to your easy seat, reaching through the crown of the head, cleansing breath. Let's take that left ear over to the left shoulder. Reach the shoulder blades closer together. And then if you'd like, you can reach these left fingertips out to the left. Maybe the fingers start to walk away. Notice if the upper body is still tilted forward at all. Really find that link through the spine. And then we'll bring the chin down towards the chest. Replace that left hand back on the lap. Cleansing breath. And lift the nose back towards center. And then send that left ear down to the left shoulder. Squeezing those shoulder blades together behind just a little bit. You'll find a stretch in the outside of that right shoulder. And then you can slowly start to walk those right fingertips away if it feels okay in your body. And soften through the jaw, link through the spine. Nice and soft this morning. Bring the chin down towards the chest, right hand back to the lap, cleansing breath. Beautiful. Lift the nose back towards center. We're going to go ahead and just come to stand at the top of the mat. You don't need any props or anything as of yet. Just give yourself some space here to feel the feet connected to the mat. And when that feels really complete, I invite you to ripple up through the feet, through the spine, all the way to the crown of the head. Rise and shine. Deep cleansing breath. Let's start right here. Inhale, arms and gaze, rise. Exhale, chin down towards chest, hands come down next to the hips. Just like that. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, chin down towards chest, hands down next to the hips. Let's do that 3 more times. Softening through those knees. Staying with the breath. One more. Beautiful. Bring that chin back up. Nose comes forward. Shine the heart forward. Tuck the tailbone in. Cleansing breath. Beautiful. Inhale, arms and gaze, rise. Exhale, hands down in front of the heart, bow, chin to chest. Inhale, gaze back forward, arms back up towards the sky, and then slowly letting those shoulders come back in line with the rest of the upper body. Let's start to move through the knees. So we'll take an inhale, and then exhale, bend the knees, send the arms back. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, knees bend, arms go back, upper body tilts forward. Not locking the knees when you come up. There's a little arch through the back when you come to rise. Give it 2 more. Last one. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands come down next to the hips, chin down towards the chest. Bend those elbows, palms come together at the heart, cleansing breath. Beautiful. I'm going to face you here. Bring the nose back up so you can see me. We're going to take body weight and put it on that left leg. So all the weight on that left foot. Make sure that you don't put it all on the outside of the foot. Really let there be some weight on the inside of the foot as well. And then slowly let this right foot come back, and maybe the right toes go outside of the left heel. Softness through the knees. Take an inhale. And then exhale, see if you can fold halfway. Reaching through the crown of the head. Take an inhale, slow rise. Bring that right foot back to meet the left. Right hand is going to come down to the right hip. Inhale, tuck the tailbone in as you reach these left fingertips over to the right. Big, juicy stretch right there. Gentle with the upper body. Tucking the tailbone in protects that low back. Inhale, let this right arm come up to meet the left above your head, and then exhale, hands down in front of the heart. Soften the body, cleansing breath. Lift the nose back towards me so you can see. We'll move that body weight over to the right side. So whole right foot gets some weight, and then we'll take these left toes and we'll bring them behind that right ankle. Give yourself as much space as you need, not locking through the knees. Reaching through the crown of the head, take an inhale, and then exhale, halfway forward fold. Breathing into the low back body here. Inhale, rise up. Bring that left foot back to meet the right. Left hand comes out of prayer over to that left hip, tucking the tailbone in, rippling through the spine, reaching those right fingertips over to the left. Big, juicy stretch. Keeping any tension out of the neck if you can. Softening through the face and the jaw. Inhale, left arm lifts to meet right above the head, and then exhale, hands come down in front of the heart. Bow chin to chest, cleansing breath. Take an inhale, arms and gaze rise. Exhale, bending the knees a lot, coming into a forward fold. Here is a side-to-side sway. So this is where those blocks feel really good when the legs are really cold. You can bring the hands on the blocks. The blocks are on the tallest setting. Let the head hang heavy. Just release through the low back body. And give it one more breath. Come back into your stillness. Keep your hands on the blocks. You're going to step this right leg long behind you and slowly find a bend in that left knee. Give yourself a couple of breaths here to send that right heel back and then lift up onto the ball of the foot, just stretching through that calf muscle. Remember, pops in the joints of the foot and the ankle are just gas escaping, totally fine. We're just getting some synovial fluid moving through those joints. And when it feels complete, we'll let that right foot just stay on the mat. So all the toes are pointed towards the top of your mat. Slowly press into this left foot while that left knee is still bent, and we'll come up into a variation of Warrior One. So once you get into this Warrior One, let those right toes open just a little bit to the right. So we're opening through the heart, hips are shining towards the front of your mat. Heart is open. Take an inhale, lift arms and gaze. Exhale, hands come down next to the hips, bow chin to chest. Same thing that we did for mountain pose. So inhaling, lifting up. Exhale, reaching down. Rise. And lower. Give it one more. Keep the hands down next to the hips. Lift the nose back up where you can see me. You're going to take your left hand onto that left bent thigh, so that, well, the thigh's not bent, but the left knee is bent. So your left hand is down by your left thigh. Inhale, see if you can reach these right fingertips over to the left. Inhale, left hand comes up to meet that right. Exhale, hands down in front of the heart. Slowly taking weight off that right heel onto the ball of the right foot, top of the mat, cleansing breath. Take an inhale, arms and gaze rise. Exhale, big bend through the knees, forward fold. Hands can come back to the blocks. We'll send this left leg long down the mat. There's a little bend in that right knee, and then just give yourself a few breaths here to press that left heel back, getting that awesome opening and stretch through that left calf. There's one more breath right here. Settle the foot down. Make sure that you feel okay about the distance between the legs. Big bend in that right knee. Inhale. Pressing into that right foot and bringing yourself up. Now when you get there, go ahead and let that left foot open just a little bit. It's good to open through the hips. It softens the leg. Warrior one. Release any tension in that left glute. Here we go. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, chin towards chest. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, hands come down next to the hips. Chin comes down towards chest. Right hand stays next to that right thigh. Inhale, left fingers reach up and over. Big stretch over to the left. So you're really pressing into that left leg. That left hip's getting a little opening. Inhale, right arm comes up to meet left. Hands come down in front of the heart. Start to put energy into the ball of that left foot. Bring yourself to the top of the mat, cleansing breath. Beautiful. Take an inhale. Move body weight over to that left foot. We're going to lift this right knee up towards the belly and then step it back and go ahead and move into warrior two legs. Now we're going to take those hands that we're facing towards the top of the mat, and we're going to bring them right in front of our heart. So the hips are open, shoulders are over hips, toes are pressing towards the top of the mat on that left foot, just making sure you can see me there. And the right foot is pressing into the floor. When you feel good about the legs, go ahead and open the arms into a T. Gaze goes back over that left middle finger. Take an inhale, let this right hand come down to the leg as the left fingertips shoot away. And then let the left hand tap that right knee as the right hand reaches up. So it's almost like we're just a little tick-tock, moving back and forth, just getting some opening there, but not making anything really strenuous or exaggerated here first thing in the morning. We're just creating some movement through the upper body. Give it one more round. And bring yourself back into that warrior two. Straighten through the left leg, spin on those left toes. Inhale, arms and gaze rise. Exhale, chin comes down towards chest, hands come down next to the hips. Just like we've been doing wide leg mountain. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, settling it down. Tailbone stays tucked in. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, bring it down. Give it one more. When the hands come down next to the hips, bring the hands back in front of your heart. Keep chin bowed down towards chest, cleansing breath. Beautiful. Go ahead and spin on those right toes. Hands are back at the heart. And find your warrior two legs. And when you feel complete with shoulders over hips, you can find your arms back into that T. Inhale, tap the left leg down, fingertips reach away. Little tick-tock here. Toes pointed towards the top of the mat on that right side. Well, actually, you're towards the back of the mat now, aren't you? Just like me. And give it one more. Back to your warrior two. Straighten through the right leg, coming back to the long edge of the mat. And I invite you to bring your feet just a little bit closer together. Inhale, arms rise up. And then exhale, bring the hands down in front of the heart. We're gonna move into our love seat, right? So we're gonna start to bend the knees, send the hips back, tilting the upper body forward. We've done a few things tilting the body forward, so we've got that. Reaching the crown of the head away. I just want you to breathe into the space. See if you can tuck that tailbone in just a bit, lengthen through the spine. Weight evenly in both feet, front and back. Breathe. Inhale. Exhale, give yourself a fold forward. Wide leg forward fold. Release where you can. Feeling into that low back body. Give it one more breath. Bend the knees a lot. Take an inhale. And exhale, slow rise. We'll meet with those hands at the heart. Go ahead and shimmy those feet back together. Face the top of your mat from center of the mat. Give yourself a cleansing breath. Beautiful. All right, from the center of the mat, you're going to put weight on your right foot, and you're going to bring the left foot forward long down the mat. This time, all the toes are facing towards the top of your mat, and we're going to do another halfway lift. Now, hopefully your blocks are at the top of the mat, so when you come halfway, if you need to put hands on blocks for support, they'll be there for you. Reach through the crown of the head, take an inhale, and then exhale, halfway forward fold. Hands can come to blocks. Crown of the head reaches away, long spine. And then awareness to that left hip, send it in towards center, deepening that stretch through the hamstring. Good morning. Give it one more breath. Safest way to come out of this is to bend that front knee, that left knee, and bring yourself up. Hands come back to the heart. Step to the top of your mat, and then step the left leg long. So you want to reach through the crown of the head, ripple up that strength, take an inhale, and then exhale, halfway forward fold. Good morning, right hamstring. Reaching the crown of the head away, squaring that right hip back with the left. Bending that right knee, take an inhale. And then exhale, bringing yourself up. Hands come back to the heart, top of the mat. You can actually move those blocks out of the way. And then find a mountain pose with the hands at the heart, chin bowed down towards chest, cleansing breath. I invite you to slowly open your eyes. Bring those palms open on either side of your hips. Give yourself one more breath, really noticing the space that your body is taking up here, right now. Beautiful. Take an inhale, arms and gaze, rise. And then exhale, hands down in front of the heart, bow, chin to chest. Let the arms rise. We're going to step the feet where they're a little bit wider. I used to, and I have to tell you, tell you to take your feet to the outside edges of your mat, but I think that's a little too much. So what we're going to try today is to find the widest part of your hips and let the widest part of your foot be in line with the widest part of your hips. So give yourself whatever space that you need. We're going to do this at the top of the mat in case you want to block once we get there. We're going to move into a Molassenous Squat. So hands are at the heart. Once you're here, I'm going to invite you to spin on your heels just a little bit to turn the tops of your feet out towards the side. Now the tops of your feet might come off the mat now, but your heels are firmly planted on the mat. And then those knees are going to start to bend towards the heels. Oh yes, so much better. We're going to lower down into this Molassenous Squat. Elbows come to the knees and you ripple through the length of the spine. Now if you're having a problem here, you could take a block and just sit on it and get a very gentle opening here, really just letting the tissue release. In fact, if you have the block, just do the block. Reach through the crown of the head. Let's spend 6 or 7 breaths right here. Give it 2 more. Beautiful. Easy peasy to come out. Just let a hand come to the floor, move the block out of the way, and we're going to come back to that wide leg seat that we started with. Those were cold stretches, so we're going to check in. We've done that posture 2 or 3 different ways while we were standing. We're just going to see how it feels seated. All right, hands are on the legs this time, and we're going to reach the crown of the head up towards the sky. Take an inhale, arms lift up off the legs towards the ceiling, and then exhale, see if you can forward fold. Hands may come a little further this time. Crown of the head reaches away. Softness through the jaw. 5 breaths. Softening the kneecaps. Not going past that edge. Yoga is not painful. Now, do you need to walk those hands in just a little bit and then over to the right side? Or do you want to just take those hands over towards the right foot? Your call. Breathe. Just a body scan real quick here. Seeing if there's anywhere you can soften the body. Walking those hands through center or a little bit back and then over to the left. Yogi's choice, finding your spot, trying not to round through the low back. Walking those hands back towards center and then walking yourself up. Legs come together. Hands on either side of the hips, Spider-Man fingers, really pressing the back of your tailbone into the mat. We'll take an inhale, arms and gaze, rise, and then exhale to find that forward fold. Crown reaches away. One more breath. Walk your hands back up. We're going to find our booty coming right off the front of our blanket. No Shavasana this morning, just because if this is a rise and shine practice, I really want to not get you where you want to go back to sleep, but hopefully more into your body. Maybe even the easy seat is a little bit easier this time. Let the hands just rest gently in the lap. Make sure that you are not leaning forward with the upper body. I catch myself doing that all the time. So really reaching through the spine. Close the eyes. Give yourself a cleansing breath. Just take the next few moments to check in with how you're feeling mentally, physically, and emotionally now. I invite you to keep your eyes closed. I have a rather long share for us this morning, but it's so good I can't not share it. So stay in your body and in your breath. Tuning in with your ears, but allowing yourself just to take in what serves and releasing what doesn't. This is from a poet, comic. His name's John Rodell. My brain and my heart divorced a decade ago over who was to blame about how big of a mess I have become. Eventually, they couldn't be in the same room with each other. Now my head and heart share custody of me. I stay with my brain during the week, and my heart gets me on the weekends. They never speak to one another. Instead, they give me the same note to pass to each other every week. And their notes they send to one another always say the same thing. This is your fault. On Sundays, my heart complains about how my head has let me down in the past. And on Wednesday, my head lists all of the times my heart has screwed things up for me in the future. They blame each other for the state of my life. There's been a lot of yelling and crying. So lately, I've been spending a lot of time with my gut, who serves as my unofficial therapist. Most nights I sneak out of the window in my rib cage and slide down my spine and collapse on my gut's plush leather chair that's always open for me. And I just sit, 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 sit until the sun comes up. Last evening, my gut asked me if I was having a hard time because being caught between my heart and my head. I nodded. I said I didn't know if I could live with either of them anymore. My heart is always sad about something that happened yesterday, while my head is always worried about something that may happen tomorrow, I lamented. My gut squeezed my hand. I just can't live with my mistakes of the past or my anxiety about the future, I sighed. My gut smiled and said, in that case, you should go stay with your lungs for a while. I was confused. The look on my face gave it away. If you are exhausted about your heart's obsession with the fixed past and your mind's focus on the uncertain future, your lungs are the perfect place for you. There is no yesterday in your lungs. There is no tomorrow there either. There is only now. There is only inhale. There is only exhale. There is only this moment. There is only breath. And in that breath, you can rest while your heart and head work their relationship out. This morning, while my brain was busy reading tea leaves and while my heart was staring at old photographs, I packed a little bag and I walked to the door of my lungs. Before I could even knock, she opened the door with a smile, and as a gust of air embraced me, she said, "What took you so long?" I invite you to one more cleansing breath. Inhale and exhale. As we close our time together this morning, may you know kindness and may you be kind. Gratitude for practicing with me. Namaste.